Welcome to the Wonder Boldly podcast, hosted by yours truly, Christine, founder of Drizzle Academy. I am going to encourage and motivate you to take action towards your big goals. I'm going to teach you everything I've learned from building a very successful 25-year career, coaching people, and starting my own online business. I am going to give you so many action items you are going to be able to wonder boldly. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Wonder Boldly. Today's episode, I want to talk about the expression under promise and over deliver. Now, I want to be completely honest and tell you that this is an expression that I use on a regular basis in my corporate world. And it has served us well, and we continue to use the expression a lot. But I also want to talk about it here from a different perspective and share with you some of my thoughts. Okay, we've all heard the expression under promise and over deliver. But let's just look at that for what it really is. Basically, it's setting a goal to please someone else, usually a customer, a client. Though I want to pose to you a new perspective, and I want to invite you to stop stealing from your self-confidence to get quicker results. When we underpromise and overdeliver, we are also not allowing ourselves the opportunity to challenge ourselves. And as I talk about a lot, self-confidence does not come from results. Results fade. Results are not stable. Our self-confidence comes from doing hard things. So when we underpromise and overdeliver, sure, we're getting a nice result. We're getting that thank you from a customer, from a client. We're getting that really feel-good moment. Wow, I really impressed them and they're really happy with me and they're going to come back for more of whatever it is that you provide. Again, which is all great. It's all great, but instead, you could be stating what you feel is possible with a little bit of risk that maybe you won't get it all done or maybe you won't be able to deliver on it. But that risk and that challenge, it's what's going to propel you forward and even help you build better relationships with your clients and your customers. Believe it or not. Now, you have to communicate. You have to be transparent. You can say, hey, this is what I know to be true. I know I can provide you with this, whatever it is. And then that opens up the conversation. Maybe they're okay with that. Maybe they're like, that is not okay and I need the whole thing. So it's building that relationship with your customer, a true, honest relationship. And sometimes that involves hard conversations. Now, with this also comes the realization of excuses versus hurdles. Now, I'm not saying go out and overpromise and really challenge yourself and work hard and stay up all night getting something done. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about accurate planning. I'm talking about knowing how much you can achieve without burning yourself out and really knowing how much time, how much effort you have to put in to deliver your product, your service, whatever it is. And this is where excuses and hurdles come in. Now, in this space, we all hear to banish our excuses, and they can be self-limiting beliefs, whatever it is. And I truly believe in that. If you're, telling yourself, well, I can't put out my podcast because it's not perfect. The audio is not perfect. I don't have a location to do it. Those are excuses for sure. If You're saying, I have a weekly podcast that I am going to be consistent and put it out every week so my clients and my potential clients know what to expect, and you know the time, the place, where you're going to do it, and it's all in the books. And then something comes up. Maybe your town loses power. There's a rainstorm, your town loses power for that day. Maybe you get a call and you have to go help a family, friend, community member, whatever. Those are hurdles. Hurdles need to be planned for. I also just call it life. That's life. Things come up. Different than an excuse that you're self-imposing and putting on yourself. Hurdles are going to come up. In my corporate world, in the software industry, we call it risks. Risk mitigation. You have to have your plan for hurdles. Things are going to come up unexpected that you wouldn't even thought. So put that equation into your estimate, into your promise. And I'm saying that, of course, because I want you to deliver great customer service. I want you to have clients that love you and know they can count on you. I want you to have a product that is impeccable, whatever it is. But also because I don't want you to beat yourself up. You're accomplishing a lot. You're doing a lot. Things come up. So instead of getting all this stuff done and then one thing, let's say it's putting out that podcast episode, doesn't happen, saying, I failed. I didn't meet my obligation. I didn't do that in the time frame I thought I was going to do it. And then this negative self-talk, that's not doing you any good. That is robbing you of your self-confidence. That's robbing you of all the other things that you've done. That is something that you can plan for. So if you think you can get 10 things done and you really look at those and I know it's pushing myself a little bit, but Christine says, to challenge myself and it's going to build my self-confidence. I'm really going to challenge myself. Yes, all good, do that. But also plan for the unexpected. Plan for those hurdles. So if a hurdle comes up, I lose power, what are you going to do? Can you drive to the town over and do your podcast? Is there a plan you can do? Or is it that's going to happen and I will then move my podcast out to another day? I will then communicate to my customers and say, hey, lost power. I usually drop my podcast episode on Mondays. You can expect it next week. So communication is always key. The most important communication you can have is with yourself. And that negative self-talk of, I didn't get my podcast done, is robbing yourself of self-confidence. So challenge yourself. Build your self-confidence. Absolutely. Plan for the hurdles. They're going to come up. It's not a reflection on you. And that negative self-talk, those excuses are going to diminish. Each time you prove to yourself you can do something, each time you get over a hurdle or you face a hurdle head on and say, hey, you know what, guys? It's not going to happen this week. This came up. That is going to build your self-confidence. It's hard to have those conversations. I've had to move folks out that I plan to have on the podcast because of hurdles. It's hard. I don't want to reach out and say, hey, this is what's going on. I need to reschedule. That feels awful. I don't want to do that to myself, to somebody else. I don't like to affect other people's schedules in their lives and what they have planned. But hurdles come up. And the most important thing is that communication. And I'm lucky and I'm able to say that in those situations, I've built stronger relationships with them. I've expressed to them, hey, this came up. Wasn't expecting it, whatever the case may be, this is my plan. I've learned that going in saying, hey, let's schedule this for now. The calendar is free. This is my intention. This is what we're going to do. I want you to know that my podcast interviews are the things that do get moved because I have to make sure I am there for my paying clients. I am there for my corporate job and I'm there for my family. So I want you to know that. If that is an obstacle for you, if that it doesn't feel right to you, I'm just letting you know so we have an understanding. So what are your action items for this one? I want to leave you again with Stop stealing from your self-confidence to get quicker results. So don't under-promise and over-deliver. Challenge yourself a little bit. You're under-promising and you're stealing from your future self-confidence. You're stealing from your future self to get that quick result of thank you, of the like on Instagram, of whatever it is. That quick feeling that feels really good, and I get it. But instead, look to your future self. Look to where you want to go, where you want to be. So your action item is the next time you're planning. So whether if you're a person that plans, does out your schedule for the week, has your projects all lined up, whatever your process is, it doesn't matter. Every day as humans, we are managing our corporate jobs, we're managing our families, we're managing our own businesses, whatever it is, you're always planning. Whether you realize it or not, whether you're somebody who thinks that you're planning, it's always in your mind, you're planning your next step. And when you're doing that, always consider challenging yourself, communicating effectively to whomever it's going to impact, and know that you are building a strong foundation for yourself as you keep building upon your self-confidence. So pick one thing and really look at it. How long does it take me to do it? Maybe you're planning out your week and you've got 10 things you're going to get done. Is it realistic? Look at it. Are you challenging yourself enough? If you are, but you're too much, you're like, it's really not going to happen. If you know right at the get-go it's really not going to happen, then knock a couple things off. That's pointless. But if you're like, yeah, it could happen. Yeah, it might be possible. When you get like that, yeah, have it on the list. If it's impacting anybody else, the family, your customers, whomever, communicate about it. Let them know the situation, and then go for it and challenge yourself that week. And I guarantee you at the end of that week, when you've met that, you've challenged yourself and you've worked through it and you pushed past hurdles or whatever has come up and you deliver on that, you are going to feel so good. And that's what I want for you. I, as always, hope you found this helpful. I hope you try this out for yourself. And if you do, please let me know. Thank you again for listening. That's it for this episode. Thank you again so much for listening. Please head over to Instagram to follow me there at Drizzle Academy. And if you want more of these types of strategies and so much more around reaching your goals, you definitely want to get on my email list. You can go to my website, drizzleacademy.com, and sign up there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did and want to share it, take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram. I'd love to connect with you. Until next time, continue to wonder boldly.